keep it real about relationships, friendships, and navigating life's hustle. Today we're diving deep into the game of balancing work, entrepreneurship, and keeping those tight connections alive. It's all about being true to yourself. And you know you gotta address the elephant in the room, social media. From double taps to DM slides, we'll break down how it's changing the game of relationships. Join me Wednesdays at 6 p.m. on Fire 716. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of JY Unplugged. So today I have here with me Nae.
How you guys doing? Go by VVXNae from Niagara Falls, New York.
And Tyler.
What's up, y'all? It's Tyler, aka Ty. I'm also from Niagara Falls. What's up, y'all?
Apparently they're siblings, twins, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. So Nae.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm okay. I had a pretty long weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But so you're telling me you are basically everything.
Yeah.
Can we get a little more insight into that? So you're
insight, everything. I feel like I'm capable to do anything I put my mind to. So when I say I do anything, like I'll make clothes, I make music. I like to create like little businesses. What else do I do? I'm a photographer, videographer. I'm a therapist at times when people need it. Just a jack of all trades, you know.
How did you get into? So what was the first thing that you got?
The first thing I started with. I like little side businesses. So I used to sell candy in school. That was my first little entrepreneur thing. 25-cent, like those Tootsie Roll lollipops.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll sell like my books. I was like a reader as a kid, so I'll sell my books for like 10 cents going around. Just anything I could, just little side businesses. So I guess that kind of shaped me and grew me into doing stuff now. But I say the first realistic thing I probably did was make music or like just record and stuff. Yeah.
What year was that and how old were you?
I made the music.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I started doing music just like playing around when I was a kid. But I didn't really start. I lost that passion. Not even passion. I just didn't know what I was doing back then. I was just singing songs for my uncle because he used to make music. So he'll sign me under a little fake contract and have me write songs for him with this guitar I did not know how to play. I just beat the guitar. But then I started dabbling back in music around like 2016, 2017. I would like skip class and go to my brother's class, and we'll be in there putting on YouTube beats and just be rapping for like hours. Like I did not go to class. It was my senior year, like senior year. That was not my class, and the teacher never kicked me out. How long do you think he knew I wasn't his student? So yeah, so I started just like freestyling, and I think and we do that often, like every day, every other day. Whenever he had that class, I was in there, or whenever it was a lunch period. And then I stopped doing that, like freestyling stuff, because school ended and stuff, and we had to go away to college. So I went away to college, and then my grandma had passed, and so that was like a quiet, dark time for me. So I didn't really know how to express myself or nothing. So I just started writing music, I started writing poems about how I felt, and so then I was like really into XXXTentacion during that time, and I liked how he expressed himself through music. Like he was just really vulnerable. So I said, all right, I'm gonna use an X beat and then just write about how I feel about what's going on in my life. And so I started doing that. And then I stopped going to school because it just wasn't working at the moment. So I went home that summer, and me and him, we found a studio and we made our first couple songs. I was like, I just want to rap. Yeah. And that was like 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are the songs? Like, are they on YouTube or anything?
They're on SoundCloud. They're like mad old, so you're gonna have to scroll.
I think
you're
it's
just gonna send them to
2018.
me.
All right.
Okay. You're just gonna
they're
send
gonna
them
sound
to me.
so different
Classics.
than what I sound like. Yeah, they're
Absolute classics.
absolute classics.
You didn't tell me you were into music too?
Oh, I love music. Absolutely. Yeah, but I would say, generally, honestly, if we're just being honest here, I haven't made music in a while. I feel like it's been some time since I've had the motivation really or not motivation, That's the wrong word. Inspiration.
Gotcha.
So I've been finding it in many places, but I do feel like for me, music creation is like certain moments in time. So I would never want to create something that I didn't feel or that just, I wasn't ready to make yet, if that makes sense.
So where do you get your inspiration from?
Honestly, being with Nay a lot, I've seen her grind for a long time. So like just being around that type of environment and other people who make music too. Shout out Keys. Um,
Yes,
Everyone
shout
in
out
the
to
area,
Keith.
like literally. So you feel me? So it's really just like a lot of times, depending on who I'm around, they'll just give me that sort of energy too. So like, the more I hang out with them, the more I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go crazy. So I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
So this is a question for the both of you. Do you guys feel like who you hang around kind of like shapes the person that you are?
Most
Oh yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Oh
Really,
yeah.
definitely.
Easily.
I feel like you are who you hang around, your environment. So if your whole environment is not doing nothing, you're most likely not gonna want to do
Mhm.
nothing. So I hang myself around like Keith and other musical artists because they have the same passion and goals as me. Like they want to succeed, they want to do better, they want to be the best versions of themselves. So when I see that, that inspires me to go harder or work more or do better. So yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I will second everything that my family just said. For real. Just generally too, it's like a lot of times when you are around certain groups of people, especially if they are like inspiring in themselves too, it's like that for me, it helps a lot just to reach and see like a goal in a sense too. It's like, okay, yeah, we can talk about whatever, like, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. But when you see it actually happening, I
Mhm.
feel like that means so much more.
Again, a question to both of you. So, how would you feel if you had a friend who was kind of lacking in other areas and you know that like they can do better?
Mm.
How would you guys go about pushing them to be a better person or to reach their goals or their potential?
I feel like everything starts with conversation, communication. I feel like if they're your friend, you know what they're good at and what they can be and what they can do.
Mhm.
So, like me personally, I would just start bringing up stuff that they like to do and try to get a spark into them, see something, because it's all about like if you could see it, you could do it. You believe it, you could do it. So it's like just trying to light that spark back in them and like feed them with ideas. You ain't necessarily like, oh, gotta give them all their ideas, but get their brain rolling. Maybe they're stuck in a rut or something. Like maybe they just need a little push, you know? So conversation, like just start talking to your friends for real. Mm.
Yeah, I was gonna say communication is key, right? So it's like when, if I, for example, were to see one of my friends and they weren't doing what we all know that they could do, um, it has to start with a conversation. That's immediately where I would think of, because it's like if I see someone who I care about and they're not doing what they should be, I'm gonna say something. That's just also the type of person I am. But because it matters a lot too, that when you're having those conversations, that it can be taken very seriously. So I feel like a lot of times too, making sure you give that energy to people who deserve it too, right? Like if you're a part of a toxic environment, then you kind of have to realize like, okay, maybe there's a reason this person is
Right.
acting this way. Like maybe I do need to separate, but in a sense of when it's just like only positivity, I would say. Um, Giving that energy, I feel like is important with keeping those connections, like through communication. I think that's really important.
It's great to hear. That's great to hear. You guys are, that's so cool. I would love to have you guys as my friends if you want to be friends. Just
Oh
saying.
yeah.
So Nay, you told me that you are a model. That you've done.
Yeah. Trying to like just say a jack of all trades.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to do everything, but my goal is to be the greatest entertainer, one of the greatest entertainers. So that involves just doing a bunch of stuff. So yeah, I still in the process of trying to model. Um, had my first photo shoot probably early September. Um, and just hoping just like to branch off more. Went to a fashion show here in October. The Buffalo Fashion Show. I think you guys had that here. What's the
Mm-hmm.
guy name? My guy.
Iman.
Yeah.
Shout out to the BFR crew. I
Yeah.
love them.
So yeah, that definitely helped inspire me too. So yeah, I'm just basically I'm on the internet, on the web, googling, researching, whatever I gotta do, looking for events. I know they had an audition thing, did not make it, but hopefully, not even hopefully, it will be making more. I'll find them.
So how do you go about like just aside from application wise, how do you go about getting into modeling?
Um, I'm not too sure about modeling because I have not done anything particular to it except for the photo shoot.
Okay.
But acting wise, I've done a few acting gigs and took acting lessons and all that stuff. As far as like you said, like getting into it or like
Like getting into it, like
researching, basically what I do. I know there's Buffalo Casting. They have a Facebook page. They always post like their whatever's going on in Buffalo that needs actors, background actors, whatever. They'll post about it. So that's a good thing to have. Um, there's also just basically research, like how do you start acting? How do you find acting gigs? Like Actor Access, I use sometimes too. Basically, you get your headshots. Your resume will build over time, so don't be scared if you don't have nothing on it. Just do
just
it.
go
Start
for
it.
it.
Yeah, so I've been getting booked here and there for that, but I will say acting is definitely a slower grind than music because you can make music every day,
Right.
but you can't get booked every day.
Right.
Yeah, so I would just say, yeah, just get those headshots and start.
You know what's funny about, because I'll watch like TV shows,
Mhm.
like older TV shows, and I'll see like actors or actress who just start getting big now,
Yeah.
and those shows came out like
Yeah.
5 years ago. So
Mhm.
it's like you really have to be like, that's a
Yeah.
thing that you have to be patient
Mhm.
with.
Very patient.
But I feel like kind of now it may be easier
Mhm.
with like the influence
Yeah.
of social media and stuff, and like you put yourself out
Yeah.
there. So
I definitely feel that social media is so advanced these days. Like you can literally get seen for anything. Um, with your TikToks, everyone's on TikTok. We were talking about that. Like literally, so many TikTok influencers have made a living for themselves and not even knowing that they were in the process of doing that. They were just posting, having fun.
there's this woman who just, she's a TikToker. She was on the Forbes list.
Yeah.
Forbes, I think it's millions list or something
Mhm.
like that. But that's like inspiration.
Yeah.
Like while seeing that,
Mhm.
I can get to that just from this
Just
little
for
this
like,
device right
literally.
here is so
Mhm.
amazing.
Literally.
So Tyler,
Yeah.
are you an actor too?
I guess kind of. Not really. I usually don't go off scripts when I act. It's everything's just off the dome. Like we were talking about earlier with meteorology.
Mm-hmm.
That's like I wouldn't say that's acting, but it kind of is. It's a form of media communication, I guess.
That's true. So
Uh-huh.
Tyler was a meteorologist, just for reference. So
Yes.
that's very cool. So what other things do you do?
So like generally or around that surrounds that.
That surrounds that. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
so like there's so I also know a lot of other meteorologists as well.
Mhm.
There's like a whole community of meteorologists which I didn't really know existed until a few years ago. But yeah, so like there's people who will go to like NASA spots and like just do research for them, or they'll go to NOAA, which is basically the big head corporation of oceanic and atmospheric things that happen. So they'll go there and work on certain machines. Like we have engineers and stuff like that too. But I'm more focused on the communication side right now. So like I have a minor in communications. Yeah, yeah. It was something also that was very just like interesting to learn because I'm assuming they do this everywhere, but specifically at Cornell, they had a lot of history in it too, and like why certain things happen. So I took a class. It was like a sophomore level class when I was a sophomore, and it was literally called media communication. And we would learn things like how did the TV ratings or movie ratings come to begin, and why did it exist? What are the rules and standards, stuff like that. So I thought that stuff was really cool. So um, I think going to school for communication is great because there's so many aspects that you can reach out to. Because I know when we were talking earlier, you said something about PR. Like,
Mhm.
for sure. That's like huge. And especially if you get the communications and marketing aspect of it, you can basically work anywhere. Like you
Yeah.
can, like Nay was saying earlier, you could really do anything. That's what
Yeah.
I think. So I'm not a communications major, but I did take a decent amount of classes to fulfill my requirements.
So
and
you
stuff.
understand that it's not, because everybody thinks that it's like easy, and it's not.
No.
It's not.
No, it's easy if you can write like long papers and like
Mhm.
read a lot very quickly.
Mhm.
But I am a person, I had to take my time with that stuff for sure. And I would consider myself to be pretty intelligent. So I don't think communications is easy, especially if you are doing more marketing as well. Because I
Mhm.
feel like what I had to do was a lot easier, probably, than what you had to do, just generally.
Yeah. So like going back to like I had papers due like every other day. Like
Mhm.
I can bust out like a 10-page paper like that. Like
Yeah.
it's like the back of my hand.
Mhm.
So it really was like a lot of work, and it's very, I don't know how to word this. It's very intense. Um Especially when you're doing like certain subjects, like we had to take a law class, we had to take a research class. Like it's much more than people think it is. Like I feel like people think communications is just, I don't know, broadcast journalism or like anchoring, and that stuff's not easy either. Like you literally have to study how to have the right posture, the
Mhm.
proper wording, techniques, all that stuff.
Mhm.
So it's a lot. um So both of you guys are involved in our community one way or another. So how did you guys get into your positions? And then, yeah, just
Like like how we get involved in the community.
mm-hmm.
Oh, how do I get involved in the community? I feel like I'm always there volunteering for events. Anytime there's an event going on, I try to do my best to make it or just help donate whatever I gotta do. I also work at the teen center here with the youth, supplying them with just necessities, an ear to talk to, helping them out with homework or whatever, planning events for them to go do, get them out, whatever they're used to, like see more, do more. Yeah, or just just being a figure in my community, not even like for events or anything, just like being around other people in the community, trying to inspire, help, be around and stuff like that. Yeah, nothing too specific though.
Nothing too specific.
I would love to start doing more, but that's the goal. Like start throwing on more events. We did a couple of we did one music event at Daredevil, October. Me and Keith and I. We threw on like a Troublemakers Day. We had some artists around the Niagara Falls area come out, perform, just have a good time for real. And we're also doing a poetry slam November 3rd at Daredevil. Josiah and I are doing that. So that should be fun. I feel like that's a different dynamic. Haven't seen one of those in a while. At least not around here.
I feel like we don't really have stuff like that around here. I don't know if I have to work or not that day, but I'm definitely gonna try to make it because I'm not really a poetry person, but I feel like it's cool to hear other people like express their words and stuff. And poets have like a way with their words, and it's
They
like,
do.
wow,
Like,
how did you come up with that?
They're in the depths of their mind.
Yeah, like you too smart for me.
Yeah.
Too smart for me.
So yeah, excited, very excited for that. Just to hear, like you said, hear people's perspectives on things and how like the metaphors and similes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to do one. I wrote a poem in a very long time. I feel like music is poetry.
Music is definitely poetry.
So yeah, we're gonna keep doing that. Just throwing on events, keeping people busy. Staying busy is key.
Absolutely. So, Tyler, how about you? How did you get? So you work for the underground. What is the full name?
I work at the Niagara Falls Underground Railroad Heritage Center. So I'm a visitor experience specialist, but I'm also a communication specialist. I just picked up that role pretty recently. But I started in May. So do you want me to talk about how I got into that, or more into just like how to get more involved with the community?
You can both.
Okay.
Honestly.
Yeah. So we do have applications available for spots at the museum. but I basically just applied and went through their interview process, and they wanted me there, so I went. But it was like it wasn't hard to apply and stuff, because I feel like sometimes when you're working jobs, it's like I don't really want to get into this. Why do I have to answer these questions? But I feel like with something that's like historic, like the museum is, I felt like it was a lot easier to just go through that whole process, personally. But we actually just did a city cleanup. What was that, Saturday?
Really?
So we actually had a decent amount of people come out, and we cleaned up most of like the main street area, like 11th Street, 10th Street, like Ontario, Niagara, Lockport, like that whole area we cleaned up. So it was nice to see people actually come out, but that just kind of adds to the community aspect of working there, and that was the main reason why I wanted to work there in the first place, was like to be involved more, because like they're also involved with the murals that have been going up around that area too. Um, and they're also tied to the National Heritage Area, which does a lot more than we even do at the Heritage Center. So, um, yeah, I mean, honestly, like just like volunteering, I think Nay said that too. Volunteering, I feel like that's very important. Just to like be out there, be a part of the community. But definitely, everyone uses social media now. People are posting about just events and opportunities to go be part of the community. So I feel like staying in tune with that and stuff is also pretty important.
Absolutely. I love it. Can you just give a brief description of what the Heritage Center is?
Yeah, so briefly, it's gonna show you basically the history of the Underground Railroad and how it pertains to the city of Niagara Falls in particular. We do have some stuff around other areas in Western New York, but mostly we focus on the city of Niagara Falls. And we basically tell the stories that we know through like documents and people's written words. And we know certain things like Harriet Tubman has crossed the suspension bridge this many times. Like you'll learn things about that, but also just like not really the mainstream sort of topics. We'll delve much deeper into local history, which I feel like is really important. But basically, it's just about the agency that we had during the condition of slavery. That's pretty much it. So, the stories of people.
How do you feel when you like hear those stories? Like, is it ever like, wow, like this happened here?
hmm Yeah, no, it's like very like impactful and powerful. I feel like also working there because we do get to tell the story of stuff that happened literally in my backyard. So
Hmm.
it's like that aspect of it is really cool. But also like you can tell even when like I'm a visitor experience specialist, which is basically that I'm a tour guide, right? So um, you can literally see people like processing information sometimes, and just sometimes they're just like silent, or just the way that people engage with the information is can be pretty cool sometimes. Sometimes it can be pretty like, whoa, I can't believe you just said that out loud in front of other people in public. But I think it's powerful that literally the history we're talking about is stuff that happened mostly. Well, most of the exhibits are about stuff in the city of Niagara Falls. So.
Yeah, I remember last year I had an internship downtown Buffalo, and I had to do some research to like basically put an event together for the like place that I was interning at.
Mm-hmm.
And they had me like look up all these places, and the Heritage Center came up, and I was like, wow, like I'm from there. So I felt like so cool. I'm like, hey, this is my home and we're here. So I can
Yeah.
definitely understand how you feel working there, because I was really so excited. I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm. And that's a cool spot. It's a cool spot, and we do a lot, like I was saying, for the community too. So, also if you have a Niagara Falls address, like you live in the city of Niagara Falls, you get a free membership. So
Mm-hmm.
you can admission is free, as well as you get, I think it's a 10% discount,
Mm-hmm.
something on our gift shop as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I
a
w-
3-year member.
3 year member.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go. I went there. This is embarrassing. I went there a really long time ago. I haven't been back since, but I'm gonna have to go there because that's definitely dope. So being that you guys are like, I don't know, prominent figures in our city, what are some things that you would like to see happen here?
Some actual resource centers as far as like more than just like basketball courts. Like I feel like we have a lot of basketball courts. We have a lot of indoor courts. They could be better, yes, but we can add more. Like I like what's the community center on 68th Street?
The Ralph.
Yeah, we need more centers like that where you can change it into different stuff so more kids can utilize it. And it's always booked up, so it's hard to get in there in general. So just more resource centers, more activities for the kids for real. More learning stuff, like more STEM stuff. Like I want to see some like STEM like conventions around here.
Yeah.
Like
I was gonna say, I don't think I ever see like anything
Right.
about STEM here.
yeah, it's like, and we have the classes, but it's like not utilized on a bigger scale that it could be because a lot of kids probably don't even know what they like until they try it. So I like to see that. I like to see more music events for like all inclusive artists, like not even just rap or hip hop artists, like all the artists. More stuff, like just more stuff to do.
Yeah, I definitely feel like now we don't really we have it. It's just, I don't know. It's tricky. That's a tricky thing to get into right now.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
We're trying though.
Yeah, I was thinking too, like, also better. One thing I hope for the city is better representation in the future. I feel like a lot of times, people will, Niagara Falls, but some people don't even know it's a city. Like they think it's just
The
a
tourist
waterfall.
area.
Yeah, exactly. So like we spend a lot of time with things like tourism, which makes sense. It makes money, but where is that being allocated to? Like, I think it should be brought back to the actual community, and I'm not too sure exactly how that's going. That's one thing I want to definitely see change in the future.
Yeah, we have a lot of space, a lot of land for opportunity.
So, being that you guys are the figure that you are, how do you plan on doing that? How do you plan on being the change?
Networking, getting people together, like-minded people, or helping other people change their mindset. I feel like some people see Niagara Falls as just like, oh, it's a dump. Oh, gotta move out, gotta get out. Of course, we gotta move out or do better, but like, there's so much you could do still here to help, right? Like while you're here to help bring change for the other people coming up. So networking, keep growing myself into the best version of me I could be, so I can have those ideas and open-mindedness and happiness, so I could spread that love, that joy. And of course, I hate it, but it all starts with money. It do start with money. You need money to do things. Not money. Money. I don't think money brings you happiness, but money brings you the opportunities to find happiness, I would say.
Money rules the world,
Yeah.
sadly.
If you have the money, you can. Man, if I had the money right now, I'll start building a resource center with my bare hands. I would start chopping down wood, going crazy. But yeah, I feel like all due time. I feel like a lot of people in the city do have the same goals to help the city or bring some change to it. So I figure once they get where they need to be in life, they will, or even on the way to where they want to be in life. We're all trying to do that.
Yeah, I would say like, things like that definitely take time. But I would start with myself, right? So like bettering myself to be the best person I can be, and hopefully I can be a good enough example to show people that, there is hope here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I'm the only person that can do that. I hope that it's the whole city showing that to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So just all I can do is really control me at this point and better myself, like I said. So yeah.
Well, we do have an amazing building right here where I am recording at Handley and Holding. So whatever you guys need to do something, just reach out to Frank, the man right here, because this building's going to be something great one day, and we can just all come together and do great things. Thank you guys for being here today. I really do appreciate it. And
Thank
join
you for
me.
having me. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Shout out my mama.
Thank you. Shouts out all the people at home.
Come on.
Thank you for having me. Oh, yeah.
And join me next week, Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Radio. Welcome to JY Unplugged, the podcast where we keep it real about relationships, friendships, and navigating life's hustle. Today we're diving deep into the game of balancing work, entrepreneurship, and keeping those tight connections alive. It's all about being true to yourself. And you know you gotta address the elephant in the room, social media. From double taps to DM slides, we'll break down how it's changing the game of